Hey everybody, how's it going? My kitty jumped right above my head as soon as I sat down to edit because she loves me and she's so cute. I missed you so much, girl. So today, before I get started with the topic I wanted to discuss, there's one point that I would like to make clear about these hearings that I go to and record. Every one of these hearings that I've been to, whether it's Nebraska, Boston, Washington, or Maine, are open to the public. These are not held behind closed doors, nor are they confidential. As long as you have a state ID and you are able to make it through security, you are allowed to show up and listen at the hearing. You don't even have to be a resident of that state. You can be a resident from out of state. So long as you can show up with an ID, you're able to listen and often even apply to testify by just filling out a simple form. In addition, in the United States, when it comes to lobbying, there are lots of regulations that cover lobbyists. You have to file and register as a lobbyist so that it's on file that you are a professional lobbyist. Further, when I testify at these hearings, you may notice that I start by saying, "My name is Louis Rossman. I work for Rossman Repair Group. I represent myself." At these hearings, it's typically protocol that you say your name, the company you work for, and who you represent. Everyone you hear that shows up to one of these public hearings says their full name, who they represent, and what company they work for. This is very important to ensure transparency. I am not showing you anything that is not already public information. And I encourage people to show up to these hearings so that they're able to testify anytime in person, or they're able to listen to the entire thing in case my stream goes down or I'm not able to make it to them. That being said, there was one lobbyist that showed up in Boston and another lobbyist that showed up in Washington that both worked for the same company. And they appeared to be reading off of the exact same script, saying that
legislation is in search of a problem that does not exist.
This is legislation in search of a problem.
Even after I said,
and there's two main pieces of criticism that I wanted to address while I was here today. The first is that this bill is a solution in search of a problem, that there isn't a problem. In 2018, Apple released a different machine, and it uses almost the same charging chip. They changed one thing, the address that it speaks to the rest of the computer on. And I can't buy that chip. What they told Intersil, the company that makes it, only sell this chip to us. So when I contact any electronics reseller, they say, "I'm sorry, we can't sell it to you." This means that rather than paying me to fix the machine or anybody else, your only option is to go to Apple and have this $3,000 or $4,000 device fixed by them for $1,500. Further, when they do that, they erase all of your data, and that's the only option. So when people say that this bill is a solution in search of a problem, I've had thousands of customers that want their data back that disagree.
because they seem to be incapable of coming up with their own thoughts on the fly that are not on the piece of paper, they did not come with any of their, they just read the exact same thing. And I'm starting to understand why it is they think this bill is a solution in search of a problem. Because it seems like they're just totally fine with replacing their phone every time it breaks. And I was able to figure this out from someone on Reddit. That Samantha Kersel lady lobbies for TechNet because this one time she had to buy a whole new phone because her screen wouldn't turn on. I said, "Is there a way to get a snapshot of this?" It's gone. He said, "I knew she might delete her tweet, so I screenshotted it, and I took a look at it, and this here is hysterical." So the lobbyist said, "I'm experiencing phone issues. The phone is on, but the screen is black. I've tried everything it's time for," and I'm guessing that said something along the lines of, "Time for a new phone." And somebody is already trolling and saying, if the right to repair bill is passed, you would be able to get it fixed. And this is... I'll be honest, this was hysterical to me. I laughed ridiculously. You know what? What if the problem is that there was a bad LED driver and the repair shop, maybe they could have figured out it was a bad LED driver if they knew the model of the chip, which they could have found the schematic if, the bill was passed. This kind of stuff makes me laugh. It's very interesting because someone can have, but you understand why it kind of bothers me when people say stuff like that? If you are in a position in your life where, my $400 to $600 device broke, I can just buy a $1,000 one. Who cares? That doesn't mean that everybody is in your position and able to do the same thing. Nor does it mean that just because it's not a problem to you, that it's not a problem to other people. That's my thoughts on it. I found this interesting, and I think it's really cool the way that Reddit seems to collectively work together to really go through every single part of the testimony and bring things up like this, because I would have never found that in a million years. But they found it immediately, and they thought it was funny, and so did I. So I thought I would share it with you. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something.